Welcome to Ask Verdella, starring me, Verdella Starling. And today we're going to answer the question, why are hippopotamuses called river horses? Well, the answer is quite simple. Hippopotamus is Greek for river horse. And it makes sense because hippopotamuses live in rivers and lakes and swamps in Africa. Yes, just like the zebras, they live in Africa. And just like the zebras, they are mammals. They're warm-blooded, and they have babies that they feed milk, and they breathe air, just like the zebras. Now, that's kind of where the similarities end, because remember that we talked about the zebras and how they have stripes, and those black and white stripes, that helps to keep them cool. Well, hippopotamuses don't have fur. No, they have very thick skin, about 2 inches thick. And if you're not in the U.S., that means 6 centimeters thick. Yes. And they spend their days not grazing grass out in the sun, but in the water, under the water, to try to keep themselves cool. Now, they can close their nostrils underwater, and they can hold their breath for about 5 minutes. Can you believe it? And they can walk along the bottom of, let's say, a river, but they also push themselves off of the bottom with their short legs, and they kind of float a little bit, and then they go down and they push again, and they walk along the bottom this way. Now, that's very interesting. If they don't want to be underwater, they can just stand in the water up to their necks, and their heads have eyes on top of their head, and their mouths and nostrils are on top of their mouths are like right at water level, but their nostrils are on top of the water, and their ears are on top of the water, so they can look around and they can see what's going on, but their bodies stay cool. Now, that's just wonderful. And then when the sun goes down, they come out of the water and they start grazing. And you're just not gonna believe how much grass they eat, like the zebras. But I think they eat more than zebras. I'm not sure, I'm gonna check that out. But they eat about 88 pounds of grass, which is about 40 kilograms. That's unbelievable. And they stay out in the heat, I think, for the evening, and then they go back into the water when it starts to get hot again. But another wonderful feature characteristic that the hippopotamus has is that they secrete a red substance that people used to think looked like blood, but it's not. It's kind of like their very own sunscreen. So when they are out of the water, that keeps them cool too. Oh, that's just wonderful. Well, the hippopotamus is a very cute creature, you have to admit, because they're shaped like barrels, and they have short legs, and they have big eyes and big nostrils and big heads that are just so cute. But don't forget, they have very big teeth that are almost like tusks, and they're very sharp. And the thing about the hippopotamus is that they are aggressive. That means if they feel threatened by you, they will attack. Yes, and they are very territorial. That means they will protect their homes and their babies. So I would say if you're walking down the street or if you happen to be in Africa or somewhere where you see a hippopotamus, do not try to start a conversation, because these are things we don't do with wild animals. We just let them stay to themselves because they have ways to protect themselves. And they have attacked people and boats that got too close to them. So if you ever see one, just let them go their way. A grown hippopotamus can grow to be about 14 feet long, which is about 4.5 meters. Oh my! And they can be as heavy as 4,000 pounds, which is 1,800 kilograms. And did you know that only the elephant and the rhinoceros are bigger than the hippopotamus? So what I'm telling you is they don't have a problem with lions or crocodiles or hyenas, because they're one of the biggest, heaviest animals in Africa, and Nobody's going to start a fight with them. They can protect themselves pretty well, I would say. Yes. So, that about sums up my little lesson on the hippopotamus today. Wonderful, cute creatures who have adapted to the heat and they can protect themselves quite well. And you know, the only other thing that we need to think about is that God created all of these wonderful, beautiful creatures. And it's our job to protect them, not hurt them, to take care of them and not let them be hunted so that they become extinct, which means there just wouldn't be any more left of them. And we don't want that to happen. And you know, even if you have just a dog or a cat or a bird at home, it's your responsibility to be kind to them and to take good care of them. Well, that's the end of my lesson for today, and this is for Della Starling with Ask for Della. See you next time. Bye-bye.